Hello everybody, our song is not working and I'm not going to sing for you today, but we are very happy you're here. Happy Monday. You saw on Friday we were at our wellness center and we got to talk to some veterinarians. I apologize about the technical issues. We're going to have to do another one of those because there was some really cool stuff that you missed, unfortunately. But today we are at our behavior and training center, which is really exciting. This is one of two behavior centers like this in the entire country. So we are really proud of it. We're really excited. We're going to be hanging out in future Bravo Boys Agility Yard today, learning about some tricks for agility, training with your pets, some just enrichment ideas to help keep them busy while you're home quarantining, because we're all going a bit stir crazy. And this is a great time to take advantage of all this time to train and work with your animal. So last week we met some PW staff, we met the medical staff, and today we're going to meet one of our really awesome trainers and some really cute dogs. So it's going to be a fun one. So follow me in over here. You will see that we are wearing our masks. We are going to be practicing our social distancing as always. Today we might have to, you can go in there, Daryl, I'll close the door after you. Today when we're working with the dogs, our trainer or our visitor might take off the mask just so they can communicate better, but we are really doing a good job of our social distancing and staying safe. So hopefully you are too. So you can see, Miss Daryl, we have a really cool setup back here in our agility yard. So our behavior and training center is really special because a lot of dogs, rabbits, cats, a lot of animals come in here who maybe aren't so adoptable and maybe just need an extra help to make them more adoptable. Maybe they're fearful. Maybe they like to resource guard. Oh my gosh, look at Trey's showing off already. So we're really proud of our center and what we're able to do here. Some dogs and animals spend a couple days here, some spend months here. So whatever it takes to get them ready. So I'm going to introduce you to Mina. Say hi to Mina over here.
Hello.
Mina is one of our amazing trainers, and she has brought her two cuties with her today. These are her pets. So none of the animals you see today are up for adoption. I always like to say that because we get so many comments and I want those. But Mina already snatched these two up. She's getting them ready and for their little debut, and we're going to be working with them on some tricks and showing you some tips. But we're going to start over here with Trey the dog and Chance the human. Hi Chance the human. So Chance and Trey have a really special story. So about 3 years ago, our humane law officers did an incredible rescue from a home where there were 188 Yorkies living in one house. It was a hoarding situation. And Trey actually came from that house, but she was born after the rescue. So she has known nothing but love and comfort and the good life. So she's all of about 4 little ridiculous pounds, most of us. So little Trey is a cute little 4 pounds, and you're going to see that she's going to do all of this agility equipment for us. So agility is a great way to spend time with your pet and do some fun enrichment for their brain, for their body. All the things you see here except that tunnel, Miss Daryl, were made by Chance. So she just put these things together. She made her own equipment. And Mina's going to actually be talking about some ways that you can even use just household items to do stuff like this. So we're going to see, Trey was showing off her skills earlier. Sometimes she says, I don't want to do this, Mom. So we're going to hopefully see her do her cool tricks now. So go for it, Miss Trey and Chance. Yay! That was pretty cute. I'm going to make Daryl, we're going to do that again. I'm going to make Daryl get a close-up of the tunnel because it is so cute. But you saw Trey, she's doing her little jumps. She does tunnel, hoop, and this is a teeter.
It's a makeshift teeter.
A makeshift teeter. So you see if she, and it goes down. And you see how proud Trey is of herself because she did it. So we're going to see if she can run through that tunnel again because I want to get that cute little exit because that is cuteness right there, Daryl. So here we go. She says, okay, Mom. There she goes. Yay! Oh my gosh, she is in rare and beautiful form today, Chance. So how long, Chance, would you say did it take for Trey to learn this whole course and each thing? So I'm sure you don't do it all at once. You might just start with your one jump at a time, right?
Correct. Yes. And so we started when she was very young, and we started at home with makeshift stuff. I used a cat tunnel.
I'm going to have you talk into here.
I used a cat tunnel, to get her started when she was months. Now that's too soon. And then I started her in competition too soon.
Okay, but so she actually goes to competitions and will compete, right?
Yes, she's actually competing in the canine performance exhibits and also in toy dog exhibitions. She has qualified already in her courses. But yes, we do little increments, and we do it when she wants to do it. If she doesn't want to jump, if she doesn't want to teeter, we adjust it, and we try to do something different so that she will participate. And then we always reward little increments. Like this is a 4-inch jump. She's a 4-inch jumper. And I made up some stuff for the hoop. And the tunnel, the tunnel was always fun. So I went ahead and bought the big tunnel.
Perfect. So yeah, so every little thing, and Mina can come talk to this too, is so you're going to start with very, like you said, incremental. So you can't expect your dog to just jump automatically or go over the teeter. Oops, now I don't know if I'm being hurt. You are going to be working in little increments so that your dog builds their confidence, right? And also, Mina, like, what can be expected of a training session? Like how long? Like, because a lot of people, maybe you're going to spend 30 minutes. That seems like a really long time to ask your dog to focus. So what would be realistic for how much time you should spend in a training session when you're introducing a new trick or activity?
Yeah, that's a really great question.
Trey is still showing off.
It's a simple but sometimes complicated answer, and that's how long your dog has an attention span for. So for some dogs, like my little one over here, it's very, very short. She doesn't really have a very long attention span. So her sessions sometimes are 2 to 5 minutes long, depending on what we're doing and how yummy the treat is that I have and how much she wants it. For my older dog, sometimes we do sessions that are up to an hour, but she's 10 years old and has been training for a really long time, so she has a much longer attention span.
Excellent.
So you're gonna kind of want to look for, if your dog isn't really interested in what you have to offer, like Saffron over here is sniffing around at other things, Lemon's looking around, that may mean I don't have their attention anymore and I might want to do something different.
Okay, so I really want to focus on a couple things she said. So she said with Pepper, she might do a 2-minute training session. So my friends, think about that. Sometimes we're like getting so frustrated with our animal, or maybe they're not paying attention and we get mad. No, maybe if that's all they're having fun with, that's all they can do, great. End on something positive. So we want to make it fun and do 2 minutes and then come back in 30 minutes and try it again. So that's what's going to make it fun, and then you can build on that. Like she said, Saffron's an expert trainer. Oh my gosh, Trey just is like, excuse me, why is the camera not on me? I am the star here. So you can see that, yes, Trey has built up to this, and Chance said that sometimes they'll go to competitions or sometimes they'll practice and Trey will say, not doing anything for you today, Mom.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So sometimes we just have to go with what they're doing. And also, like Mina, we've talked about this, is like sometimes your dog you might have taught them sit, and they're an expert sitter in your living room, and then you take them to the dog park and you ask them to sit and they won't, and you're like, why aren't they doing that? They know sit.
Yes.
So why won't they do that?
And that's a really good question. So dogs are a little bit different than people, though this certainly happens in people too, in that dogs don't really generalize information, which means if they do something at your house, they may not know how to do that out at a really exciting place like a park. So at the house, there's nothing else going on. They're used to it. There's nothing exciting because everything is old. And then when they're in an environment like this, like my 2 dogs don't live here, they may be really distracted by different smells, different sights, and those things are a little bit more exciting for them. So you have to really work up slowly to environments that are a little bit challenging for them, and make sure to give them lots of good rewards when you move to those new places, just like you did when you first taught the behavior.
Perfect. So yeah, I like to compare it with kids. Like maybe at home you're really good at listening to your parents, maybe not, but let's say then they take you to Disneyland. They can't have the same expectations that you're going to pay attention and listen, because there's too much exciting stimuli going around and making you excited. So we have to remember to be patient and kind with our animals when training. You will notice that Mina and Chance have been giving treats. You'll see that Trey just got a new little goodie over here too. So Chance is putting treats into that ball, and that's making Trey kind of work for it. So she's just not giving her that treat. She's going to have to come work for it and try and get it out of there. So we only use positive reinforcement at this training center and with our animals at home. Oh, she's going to go hide it. She doesn't want the other dogs to get it. That is adorable.
Smart dog.
She's like, I'm not sharing. So remember, only kindness, only training. Oh, there she goes. Oh, we can't. Dariel's trying to find where she hid that cute little toy. So And we saw Trey do something that she is already an expert at and really good at. So do you want to, was there something with nose work with her, or do you want to do something with your dogs?
Yeah, I mean, we can start with trying to train her how to go over a jump that's on the ground. She's never seen it before, so you can see what it might look like at home. I'm going to pass off the big dog.
Saffron will come with me.
Saffron will come with you because Saffron definitely wants to hog all the treats. So Lemon here has never seen anything before like a jump, and I've never asked her to go over one. So what I'm using is actually just the stick from a broom handle or a mop handle. And that's something that you might have around the house, so it's okay to use stuff around the house. You don't need to have a fancy jump to start with. And I'm actually going to have it on the ground first. So I don't want it to scare Lemon, and I don't want her to trip on it or get hurt. So I'm going to start with it really easy. I'm going to show her that I have a treat because she's already lost some of my attention. There we go. And then I'm just going to lure her over it, and look, she walked right over it. Now, if your dog is scared of the stick itself on the ground, one thing that you can do is you can just put the stick on the ground and then just toss treats near the stick without you touching it. That way the dog starts to associate the stick with having lots of yummy things around it. And then again, when you want them to go over, you can just put the treat in front of their nose and have them follow it over. They don't have to be perfect, and you can see Lemon's not even jumping. She's just walking, and that's fine. We just want her to get comfortable going over it. And then I have some really yummy cheese I'm using. You can even like hold it up just a little bit so they can start to get used to having to go over it when there's something there. And that's okay. She can have the treat just partially over it. You can toss it. There you go. So if you guys are interested in teaching some of these kinds of things at home with your own dog, we actually have a class that's coming up that you can take virtually online. It's a 3-week class. It's Intro to Agility in your own home. So you'll be using things, see, lost her attention. You'll be using things like broomsticks, water bottles, boxes, and stuff like that to help start the foundations of agility in your own home. So this is definitely a fun way to do something with your dog that's fun for them and fun for you.
And like she said, that it's using household items. So you don't expect that you have a permanent agility course or all this PVC pipe. So if you don't, you can still do some really cool stuff with your pets to do some enrichment for them.
Yeah.
So Ms. Mina, do you want to try teaching a trick, or what would you like to do? So just some maybe easy guidance so that, especially you kids at home, like I said, there's so much time with your pets right now. Take advantage of that and teach them some cool stuff.
Definitely.
So remember, patience.
Yes, always patience. So like Stacey was saying earlier, we're at the Behavior Center, and what we do at the Behavior Center is we work with dogs that are sometimes very shy and very scared of new people. They won't even take treats from our hands. They won't come close to us. So some of the first things we start with are just tossing treats, and when they start to realize that we have good treats and they're starting to come over to take treats, we can start to teach them a behavior called touch. And that's really cool because it teaches the animal to come towards us to do something specific, and then if they do that, they get something really, really tasty. And Lemon here is a very shy dog with new people, so this is something we worked on a lot. And you'll see she's very excited for that cheese. So come here, over here. It's okay to lure your dog, so have a little bit of that treat in your hand, so tell them where you want them to go, because she doesn't speak English. You will start feeding them so they start to know that there's food in your hand, and then you'll just put out your empty hand, yep, and then if she investigates it by sniffing or moving towards it, you just say yep, and you'll give her a treat. So again, you're gonna start by just giving them the treat so they have a reason to come close to your hand. And then you'll put out your hand, oops, touch, yep. And then when they put their nose on it, you'll give them another treat. It's okay if your dog doesn't want to do this right away. If you try to do touch and they don't quite get it, you can just keep feeding them from your hand again. And then when you think they're really interested in the food that you have in your hand, then you can go ahead and offer an empty hand. And when they explore it, you can say, yep, and then you can give them a treat. And again, this is something that you can start doing from further and further away. So if she can do it really close up, then we see if she can do it farther, and she can. So we say, yep, and we give her a treat for that. Touch, yep. And so this is a really fun way to move your dog around. So like in the beginning you saw, I was having to use cheese, to help get her to go where I wanted her to. But once you train touch, you can just use your hand, and then they touch your hand, and you can give them a treat. So it's really fun for dogs, and it's really fun for people to teach too, and it can give them a lot of confidence.
And what I really like about this too is we've talked about this, if you've seen the dog safety one I did, is we talk about inviting the dog into your space. It's a really great way because I don't want you going into dogs, and even the dogs that you know and live with. That's where we get all the dog bites. So we don't want you going into their space and bothering them. This is a great way to invite them to you, make it something really positive and fun, and that's a great way to interact. He's like, I want some of that. So remember, invites decrease bites. We want you inviting the dog into your space instead of you going into theirs.
Yeah.
And I will tell you too that Mina, because you see how many treats Lemon has gotten, she's giving tiny pieces. So my friends, don't use giant treats for this.
And so this is a really big piece of cheese. I'm not going to give her that all at once. What I'm doing is I'm taking off just a little lick of it, and then I'm giving her just a little lick. That's part of what's going to keep her interested for longer, because I'm not filling her up with cheese, which isn't, good for her to eat a whole meal of just cheese anyway. And it keeps her really interested because she's not getting too full. So just tiny pieces. And like Stacy said, part of the reason that I'm doing this first by feeding her treats is so she starts to learn that my hands coming out has good things. If I were trying to teach touch by just putting my hand right against her face, that could really scare her, and she might feel like she has to bite me, and I definitely don't want that.
And that's really rude. I mean,
Yes.
just imagine, you don't want someone just coming putting their hand in your face. So we always think about what we are trying to do. So my friend Mina, so I saw this morning that you did a cool step trick with Lemon, and just this morning.
Yeah, so some of the things that I like to do is just play with her. So trying to get her to learn how to do things like climbing up. So I just did that by having her learn to come towards us. Now, obviously, Lemon has learned that I do really weird things, like ask her to jump on all sorts of things. When you start out, you might want to start, you want to come down? There you go. You might want to start by just letting them put one paw on, and then you're going to give them a little bit of cheese. And then see if they'll follow the cheese any higher. She dropped a piece of cheese, very important, pick it back up. And then when they get 2 feet on, then you can feed them some more cheese. So you do it just little bits at a time because you want them to feel really good about what they're doing.
So again, what I'm hearing here is gradual increments. So you're working on one little tiny behavior and reward for even the tiniest little bit, and then you build on that. So then look how confident she feels. She's like, I'm on my first place podium. That is what I am doing, which is very exciting.
Good job.
Excellent. So I want to try some, because I think that's easy too, to do some nose work stuff with your pet. So this is a lot of fun, I think, for kids at home. So is there anything you need to set up, or do we have some ideas?
Yeah,
Okay, so you can set some stuff up for nose work.
Yeah, do you want me to do nose work, or should we do the enrichment boxes?
Enrichment boxes would be great.
Okay.
So definitely. So sorry, yes, with their noses.
Okay.
So yeah, you can set those up.
Cool.
And then this is a great way too to keep your pet entertained, just using cardboard boxes. Some fun games you can play with your pet is if they're good at stay, or maybe you keep them with your parent, and then you go hide some of their favorite toys or treats around the house. So hide and seek with those, or even hide and seek with you is a lot of fun. So your parent can hold your dog, you go hide somewhere in the house, and then you let the dog come and find you by sniffing you out. So there's lots of fun ways that you can play with your pet and interact in really positive ways. I don't know if you've seen it, Daria, but Trey is just showing off back here like a crazy.
So cute.
Yes.
I can show you kind of how I set them up so that you guys can kind of see how it is. It's actually, this is one of the good things, if you let your dog see you setting it up so they can see that you're putting really tasty treats inside of it. There's a lot of different options. It depends on what your dog is like, how comfortable they are, and how confident they are, and what size they are. So you can use a paper towel tube. You can just like crinkle the edges, and then stick some yummy stuff inside. At first, you may even want to not cut off any of the edges and crinkle them because it may be too hard for your dog and they may get frustrated and give up. But if your dog knows how to do it, you can crinkle both ends and let them tear it up. So you can use that. What I'm going to use at first, because again, this is a new environment for these dogs, so they're not as likely to want to do something really, really hard. I'm actually just going to use an open box. So I'm not even going to shut it, just to get them used to the idea. Now let's see if I can get a dog to come over here. Do you want to come over here? Do you want some cheese? So again, I'm going to let her see that I'm dropping some cheese into it. I am going to just give her cheese over here so she doesn't get jealous. There you go. And you see, so Trey did not need any of that. She knew exactly how to get the cheese. Some dogs actually might struggle to figure out how to get the cheese out, or they might be scared of the box. So I think Trey actually probably could even do
Move
maybe
on
the
up.
closed box.
And also too, I took Lemon's leash as soon as I saw that Lemon was interested as well, because
Yeah.
we don't want to do any resource guarding or get some competition over the
Yeah,
food.
it's definitely, we don't want to give them something that they really, really want and then have only one of them. That's not cool. It's like if you go to a birthday party and one kid gets all the presents, sometimes we feel left out.
So yes, you want to make sure if you have 2 dogs, maybe Mina, to put one away for training.
So I let her see that it's in there. She may not, and then I'll close it. And if she is very small, so I think she's like, excuse me, can you get it out for me? So I might open it. She's like, where else is it?
Or we can try Lemon. Lemon is very excited to participate.
Do you want to participate, Lemon? So I'm going to leave it open for
She's
her
very
too.
jealous.
Lemon has a little bit of a dental problem, so sometimes she has trouble opening it. But I am going to do, I'm going to do a harder one with a different box. Again, I'm going to put lots of yummies in it, because we want it to be really worth it when they get it open. And you can just kind of close up the box. You don't really want to use a lot of tape or anything like that. So again, Lemon really knows what's happening
knows what
here.
she's doing.
So we'll go ahead and put one out for her and see if she can figure out how to get inside the box. So Lemon only eats her meals out of boxes and in enrichment. She doesn't ever eat her food in bowls. And that's because I want her to have fun stuff to do in the day. We'll just get Trey
I
over
love
here.
that Mina just said. So she said Lemon and
Right.
Saffron eat all of their meals out of boxes or in enrichment items. So they're always having to work for their food.
Yes.
And it keeps them busy. So especially when we're not home 24/7, these are great ways to keep your pet entertained when you are not there. So can I put the Saffron in? Sad that she
Saffron's not got to do
hasn't
a lot,
gotten to do
so I'm going to
anything.
give Saffron a box and let her do whatever she wants with that. So again, dogs out of boxes, I do usually put them either in separate rooms, or I will encourage one dog to come away and do something else, because I don't want them to have to like try to fight over their food or anything like that. So I never feed the dogs close to each other. So obviously Saffron and Lemon know how to open up boxes. I make them really hard. Sometimes I put one box inside of another box inside of another box with bags and tissue paper, newspaper, so you can
Because they're
use
at
all sorts of
expert level,
things.
right?
They
Because
are
they've been doing it
expert
for a
level.
long time.
So again, I'm going to just kind of move Lemon out of the way here, and I'll show you some other items. Please don't go over there. Also that we have. So we also, you can, if you want to use something that's more than just a cardboard box, get really handy, maybe have your parents help. This is just a PVC pipe, and with holes drilled in it, and we make sure they're sanded down so they're soft. Inside, there's just little kibbles and treats. So you see when the dog rolls them around,
They're falling all over the
kibble
ground.
will fall out. So if you have a dog that loves their kibble especially, putting it in something like this is really great, because then they have to spend more time rolling it around trying to get food out. And then they also make different enrichment items that are for feeding. This is just one of them. There's many different sizes. There's feeding bowls, all sorts of stuff that you can actually purchase. But you definitely don't have to purchase anything. You can just use the household items that you have. But if your dogs have gotten really good at all of that, you definitely can. We do have some slow feeding bowls that we use at our house, and like Kongs and Buster Cubes and stuff like that too.
Or I like the Russian doll concept, where you just put the box in the box in the box, and they have to really work at it.
For anyone who's joining us late, can you repeat the juice dogs are not?
Okay, sorry. It sounds like we have some people joining us late, and they're very interested in all of these cute dogs. So I get it. But none of these dogs are available for adoption. So Saffron and Lemon here were adopted by our trainer, Mina. And then Trey was adopted by Chance over there. So I understand that they're very cute, but I can't sneak any out for you. I'm sorry, viewers.
I love them very much.
Yeah, they are awesome. They are all wonderful examples of amazing shelter pups. So hopefully we've given you some really good ideas today that you can do at home that are not too hard to implement. So you can do the sniffing out and toys. Look at Saffron working at this little food one. Some agility fun. You can use a hula hoop. Oh my gosh, and this one's Lemon thinks there's food in there. Oh, she's picking it up with her nose. I love it. So all of these are easy to do at home. And the things I want to highlight from what Mina said is, remember, patience. You work slowly in increments. So reward for little bits of progress for your pet, so they feel good, they build their confidence. And my thing that really stood out is she said maybe 2 to 5 minute training session for new dogs. So think about when you're going to school and you're learning long division for the first time. Do you want to work on it for 60 minutes? No, you don't. Maybe 2 to 5 minutes is all you can handle, so you don't get frustrated. So think about that when your dog is learning something new as well. We want to make sure it's fun and entertaining and they're having a really good time. That's the whole point. And a question, yay.
Kate wants to know, can we use these enrichment activities for small pets?
Ooh, can we use these enrichment activities for small pets?
Yes, yes, definitely. One of the really important things to know is what species you have. So what kind of animal do you have? And you want to consider what would they normally be doing? What kinds of activities do they like? You know, dogs we know love to sniff out things and rip up stuff. So we're going to give them stuff to sniff out. I'm sorry, Saffron and Trey have both gone into the tunnel together.
Trey is like, that is my tunnel.
So you have to consider what pet you have. So if you have small pets, like say you have rats. Rats are great to do enrichment with, and that's because they love to sniff things. They love to hoard their items and cache them together in one spot, and they like to rip up stuff to make bedding and stuff like that. So you give them lots of things like cardboard. You can hide their food, like blocks or fresh food items in all sorts of cardboard. One thing you want to make sure is it's definitely a good idea to talk to your veterinarian or do a search online about what is safe to give different animals. Some animals cannot have certain items, like we all know dogs can't have chocolate and they can't have grapes and raisins, but there's some species of animals that can and can't have other things. So definitely know that what you're giving your animal is safe for them. Be careful of any ropes, stuff like that. But this is great to use for all animals, to give them a lot of physical, mental stimulation during the day, give them a lot of stuff to do. And it's also really cute because if you've ever seen those videos of like little hamsters having a birthday party or having presents, you can decorate it however you want, and it's cute for us and it's fun for them.
Okay, I just found a new search for today, hamsters having a birthday party.
Yeah.
So that is what I'll be doing after this. But yeah, so this is, I think it's so important. We oftentimes, like, our animals need physical exercise, they need to go for walks, they need that, but they also need to work their brain. So we really, really make sure that we are providing those different enrichment things for our animals as well. So I hope you found some really cool tips today. We're gonna end maybe seeing a cute animal because that's more fun than me. On Wednesday, we're gonna be back with Wildlife Wednesday with Kate. She's gonna be teaching about our ambassador, Rosie Boa. And his name is Drook, or her name. So you're gonna meet our Rosie Boa ambassador. And then we're gonna be learning some stuff with our humane law enforcement officers at the end of the week. Oh, see, like Trey said, I am done. So we get it, it's hot out here. So thank you for joining us. I'm sorry for technical issues today. Hopefully we're gonna get these kinks figured out. But thank you for joining us, and we'll hope to see you on Wednesday. Bye.